Hey everyone, I am super excited about this evening. My name is Melissa Eickenhorst and I am a Diamond Ambassador. And if you are watching this training, then you are in for a huge treat tonight because I have 4 women on this hangout with me that are so knowledgeable about Plexus and building their businesses. Each one of them is growing an amazing team right now. They have some of the fastest growing teams in the company, and I know that you're going to be able to gain so much knowledge and information from them tonight. I have 4 ladies that are dear friends to me, and I really do look up to and admire. So we're going to jump right in, and we are going to get started with Diamond Ambassador Tamara Holloway. And she is going to talk to us about the importance of 3-way calls. This is something that I have not done a great job of implementing well myself, and so I know that I can't wait to hear what she has to share. And I know that it's a practice that she and her team use a lot, and it has helped create a lot of momentum for her and for her downline. So Tamara, I want you just to jump right in and share with us how 3-way calls have benefited you, how you use them, when you use them, and maybe even some verbiage as well.
Hi, everybody. Such an honor to be on this call. You guys are a rock star team, and so I'm so excited to be on and just be able to have an opportunity to pour into you just a little bit. So some background information on me. About a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, I went Emerald. And at that point in time, from the outside looking in, it looked like things were going amazing for our team. We were adding people left and right, but you know what? When you really got down to it, we might have been adding 200 people a month at that point, but we were losing about 175, 180. We were not netting a lot of growth. So I took a really good, hard look at myself and at my business, and I asked myself, after a week or two of a little bit of a Plexus pity party, like, what is going on here? I asked myself some hard questions, and what it came down to was I was not pouring in and investing and really helping lead my team towards success with training. I was adding people, even personally, maybe shooting them a quick email with some attachments, adding them to the team page, but I was not investing. So at that point, what I began to implement is 3-way training calls, okay? And they have revolutionized my team. These calls have duplicated down on several different legs of my team and on several different levels. So what we do is when a new ambassador joins the team, they are reaching out immediately. So if I bring on a new level 1, I'm reaching out and offering a training call right when they sign up, guys. So the excitement is so high. I want you to think about when you click Join Plexus. The excitement is so high because there's so much potential, newfound health, a business opportunity that you want to jump into. So capitalize on that new ambassador's excitement. Reach out to them right away. Their welcome pack's on the way. Ask them to get on a call with you. Okay, so what we're doing is we're getting these new ambassadors on a call in their very first week, in the first 48 hours, if possible. And we're going over 5 key things, okay? So that's me, my level 1, and my level 1's new ambassador. We're getting on the line. And I'm just shown to them as another source of support, encouragement, and a resource to them to help inspire and motivate them along their journey. So 5 key things we go over. 1, we establish the why, okay? The strong foundation for the business. We ask some questions. Why did you join Plexus? What are you excited about in starting your Plexus journey? So I'm able to learn a little bit more about them and how to motivate them and help them set goals. Okay, our second point is goals. We want to help them make money their very first month, okay? So we're gonna find out, what are your goals? Are you wanting to just cover the cost of your products? Are you wanting to go big with this business? And in your first month, you're ready to get your mortgage payment covered. What are your goals? We actually talk through those, and we set the first 30 days goals for them. How much money they want to make, how many customers they're looking to add, do they want to go silver? And then we help them make some action items in order to reach that goal in their very first month. Because let me tell you something, if you get someone excited and you get someone with a paycheck in their hands, their first month of their business, you much more likely have an ambassador who is committed to the process, and they're motivated and they're ready to continue working their business. So help them set goals and achieve those. The next step, we talk about smart Facebook posting and how to come out as a as a Plexus ambassador. So we talk about ways to post smart and how to present the business to your circle of family and friends. A lot of people say to me, you know what, I do not want to share, I'm not posting, I'm not talking about it until I have an amazing testimony. And what we try to do is help them overcome that fear that they don't have to have an amazing testimony in order to get started. They can share about what they're excited about achieving with Plexus, what they're looking forward to with their newfound health. They're looking to, crave less sugar, or, help with migraines, or lose weight, or chronic pain, whatever it may be that they're looking forward to in their journey. That's what we're going to encourage them to share. And you always want to follow that with giving them tips on how to post smart on Facebook. And what I mean by that is engaging your audience. You want to inspire your non-Plexus audience. So you want to educate, maybe throw some humor in. You want to share about your journey. You want to share other people's testimonies to really start showing your audience the wide variety that Plexus can help with, both health and financially. And you guys, give them 5 to 10 names of people that inspire you, okay? And tell them to follow them on Facebook so they can see their posts, they can see how they're posting, how they're even posting about their personal life, so they can get ideas and maybe find some creativity through watching other people that have been successful. And then next step, my favorite topic, is talking about list making. So I really encourage people to make a list of at least 200 people in their network, anywhere from acquaintances to family and friends. Anybody they can think of, I want them to get out of their head and onto paper. And we talk about a plan to start reaching out and sharing these products and sharing this business opportunity. I want people on my team to get past that fear right away, because I've seen so many people make their list. I was one of these people. Set it to the side, let it collect some dust, and not really be proactive in reaching out. It took one time for me to lose a prospect to another person that was on my list and circled and highlighted that I wanted on my team. It took one time for me to get serious about it and pick up that list and be proactive. So I always try to share that story for the people who really want to build a strong business, so they don't hesitate, but they begin to act right away. And then lastly, we go over resources. You guys, we have so many resources available to us. We have, active team pages. We have YouTube videos. We have our back office resources. Thankfully, we have new back office training that's now going to be available to us. So plug them into the resources and let them know what each resource can help them accomplish, so they can really start investing in themselves, in learning, and really start to grow a strong foundation to build a strong business.
Awesome, Tamara. Thank you so much. Okay, I do have a couple questions for you. So you have your list. You have your list of 200 people, and these are, some of them are acquaintances, some of them are good friends, family members. Do you utilize three-way calls in any way whenever you're maybe wanting to reach out to them, or what is how do you contact those 200 people? How would you advise someone that's just getting started in their business to start making those contacts?
Yes. So in the beginning of my business, I did a lot of emailing or private Facebook messaging when I was reaching out to people. And I actually have examples of those prospect lists I would be happy to share with you guys so that you can take them, tweak them, make them your own, but just a good foundation to get you started. And what's interesting is as I was messaging people, my messages started to change. So I have some that, I started using from the very beginning. You guys, I didn't have a financial testimony, and that is what I see most often, that people say, well, I can't reach out. I'm just a silver ambassador. I don't have anything to share. That is so not true. Again, share what you're excited about accomplishing with Plexus. Share about your upline's amazing financial story. This is the deal. Facts will tell your prospect a lot, but stories will sell them. So if you don't feel like you have a strong financial story, share somebody else's. I used to do that all the time. I used to share Susan Clinton's story because she was 2 levels above me. I didn't know her super well, but I know she had a Lexus. So I shared that with people. I shared that everyday people are making it big with this company, you guys. And I talked about the uniqueness of the compensation plan. So again, I'm happy to share those messages. But then as I moved a little bit further along in my business, actually around the same time that I started doing these training calls, we started doing a lot of 3-way prospecting calls because I have found those to be so impactful. I do them for levels 1, 2, and 3, and I really think it's important to stick to your levels 1, 2, and 3 because you want those to start duplicating down, and you want your levels 1, 2s, and 3s to be doing it for their 1, 2s, and 3s. So I do put a stop to it there because I want to see that duplication. But the most important thing to me about doing a 3-way call, it's so nerve-wracking at first. You guys, the first one, I swear I was shaking and sweating. But the more you do them, the easier they get. And the best thing about it is you're able to get them on the line, and you have the opportunity to share your belief with them. And you guys, enthusiasm, excitement, passion, it is so contagious. And find a way to relate. The most important thing is just to connect with them. So I do a lot of questions and a lot of listening because I want to find out what motivates them. Why did you even take 20 minutes to get on this call with me? And if it's more product oriented, they're very passionate about gut health per se, then I go a certain route. If they're really passionate about, I want to stay home with my babies, fantastic. Let me talk to you about stories of people on my team that have been able to do that. And so you're able to pour that belief into them by just connecting with them and finding out what inspires them, what motivates them, why they're even considering this opportunity.
So what would you say your top 3 questions would be? Once you get on the phone with a prospect, obviously you're going to probably get started by introducing yourself, probably telling your story briefly, right? Probably in, 60 to 90 seconds, sharing your testimonial. And then you said you ask a lot of questions. So maybe what are the top 3?
So actually, I don't introduce myself. I have my level 1 introduce me because I want my level 1 to get on the line and say, Tamara, this is so-and-so. She is a working mom. She wants to be home with her kiddos. She is, interested in this opportunity, but I wanted her to meet you. And so, this is Tamara, my friend. She's just a stay-at-home mom who's had a really successful business. She's trying to find ways to relate us to each other. She's just an ordinary gal. And then, yes, I do go into my story briefly. I try to keep it really brief, and sometimes I do share more towards the end. But I just want them to feel comfortable with me. So I just want to, talk about how I am just an ordinary gal. I have on yoga pants right now chatting with you. And I just love this opportunity. And I just share a little bit at that point. And that's when I do start asking questions about, what motivated you to even go on this call? And I always want to come across as we're not a hard close here. This isn't a sales pitch because you guys, people get on the line typically with a barrier. They have a little bit of a wall because they're kind of afraid that you're going to be trying to go in for the kill. And so you just want to, connect and relate and show them that you're just here to talk to them. You're just going to be genuine. So to answer your question, sorry, I'm getting a little long-winded here. I get passionate about this. Just asking them questions about themselves, what motivates them, why are they on the line with me? And then honestly, Melissa, I just take it from there. I don't have like a script I go by or a point by point because my goal truly is to make them feel relaxed and just that I'm going to help lead them, down the call and just help build belief into them. And if they do share with me something specific, then I will definitely hone in on that and give them, show them the money, so to speak. I will show them, okay, so you're interested in staying home with your kids. Let me tell you a story about this and show you how you can do this. And we can set goals with you. And you also, definitely key point, is to show them they're going to have support. They are going to have support through you, that you have a successful team that has many successful people. So you're going to be there to help lead them towards success and to meet their goals.
Awesome. Okay, last question. How do you wrap up a three-way call with a prospect?
Yep. So I asked them if I answered the questions that they got on the line to be answered. So far, fingers crossed, that answer has been yes. And this is my favorite part of the call. What I have learned from them just by being on the phone for 20 or 30 minutes, I tell them why I think they could do this and why I think they could be amazing in this business. Maybe I picked up on that they're passionate about people, that they're passionate about life, that they are genuine and kind. So I say to them, you know what? I think you could do amazing things in this business. You're genuine. You're passionate. You're a compassionate person. You have a heart for others. You can do this, and you'll have a team around you to help support you. And then if we have anything going on, like a special or something, corporate is incentivizing, I will let them know about that. So you're giving them a sense of urgency to go ahead and jump on.
I love it. Thank you so much, Tamara. I know that this is going to be huge for our team. Hopefully we will see them implementing three-way calls soon. I appreciate you. You are a dear friend to me, and I hope you have an amazing evening. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I am going to introduce our next guest, and that is my dear friend, Kristen Abart. She and her husband, Jarrett, are both Diamond Ambassadors with Plexus, and she does an amazing job of getting her ambassador started. So she's going to talk us through her getting started process. So Kristen, you are unmuted, and let me put you on the big screen.
Hey everyone! Hey Tamara, I loved what you had to say, and I definitely was taking notes and learned some things too. Can you hear me okay, Melissa?
Yes, I hear you perfect.
Okay, awesome. As you can see, I'm in the car, and we are traveling home from a full day of church and festival and eating out and meeting with friends and all kinds of things. And so I've been thinking about this call all day. So what I'm going to do is give you 8 tips on how to start an ambassador off right and how to incorporate strong movement in your new ambassadors and in your team as a whole. So Melissa, you can break in any time and ask questions, or any of the other awesome diamonds on the call. I would love to have that. Okay, so tip number 1 starts kind of before you sponsor them. It's knowing what you have to offer them is so valuable. And you may need to do some affirmations. Sometimes people are scared to talk about the business to others because they think, oh, they're just going to try to think I'm making money off of them. Sometimes I hear that. And I can tell you that never entered my mind at the beginning. I was always thinking, well, I'm going to sign up this person and they can have a great business. I knew the products worked. I'm way into health, and that was a given. But I had never done network marketing before. And so when I found out what this business was doing for others, even though I was, like Tamara said, not even a silver, I talked about what this business could do for them. And I was genuinely excited about what this business could do for them. So as long as you are focused on what the business can do for your friends or for the person you're signing up, they're going to feel that. Even if you are in your head but you're nervous about that side of things, you may need to do some affirmations. And you've heard of affirmations, maybe personal affirmations, like, I am a strong, confident woman. That's one of them. It's one popular one. Well, I would encourage you to do an affirmation of, this Plexus business is amazing for what it can do for my friends. It can bring them income that they are worried. Most people go to bed worried about money at night, more people than health. And so if you can affirm yourself that a lot of people are going to bed worried about an income, I can help them with that. And you make these affirmations internal also, but make some external affirmations about what you have to offer. That's going to make your sponsoring process even stronger, because they're going to feel that you're confident in what it can do for them. And for me, it's like having a new baby. When I sponsor someone, it is like I see so much potential. I'm like, oh, I have this little Plexus newborn. Oh, I'm so excited. What are they going to be like? Who are they going to be? And I love it. I'm genuinely excited for their future. And if you can get that in your head, you'll never be like, oh no, this person will just try to think I'm thinking money off of them. I can tell you that has never entered my mind, but I know that it's a common concern. So if you can wipe that away through positively affirming yourself what this is offering to others and focus on that, then you won't ever worry about that again. So today I heard at church, it was awesome. He talked about leadership as a side note, and he said, as you're leading people, when they feel that you have their best interest at heart, they'll follow you to the ends of the earth. And that is true. People can sense when it's about them and not about you. And that comes into some of the affirmations. Because if you're all worried about, what are they going to think about me? Or they're going to think I'm trying to push them or all this stuff, then you can't lead them well because you're focused on your own insecurities and not on what's best for them. So that's a foundational issue that you've just got to wipe out of the way before you can be a strong sponsor and a strong leader in Plexus. So that was number one. Number two is during the sign-up process. So you need to be with them. I know it's not always possible in person, and often I don't. Often people I sponsor are pretty far away from me. But you really need to be on the phone with them unless there's some sort of extenuating circumstance or, you know, they're ready to do it 11:30 at night and neither one of you can talk on the phone. Then I mean, don't quench the spirit, right? If someone's ready and y'all can't talk on the phone, then try to chat your way through it with them over the internet. But if at all possible, be on the phone. And this is what I say. I say, I just really like to be on the phone when I'm signing you up. That way you have confidence and you really understand what you're doing so that you can do this also, so that you know really how to do this. And I just really want you to know what you're buying. And who can argue with that? Who can argue with having more power, you know, being empowered in what they're doing, understanding it, and being able to pass that knowledge along? So really, I really am firm on that. At the end of the sign-up process, you say, congratulations. You get so excited. Remember, it's like you just gave birth, right? You just had a little Plexus baby. So number two is the sign-up process, be on the phone. And end that call with some major excitement, genuine excitement. So number three is what you do right after that call, where you're signing them up. You're still on the phone, and you immediately show them the site they just bought. Because for whatever reason they're joining, they bought a website. It is your responsibility to make sure they know what they have and what they own now, because they own a Plexus business. Whether they're going to use it or not, they own it. And you need to make sure they know that they own it. So you immediately show them their site where customers can order. That means you quickly run through the preferred retail. You show them, hey, look, there's how you can get to the triplex. Here's how you can get to our Mega X. Look how easy it is. You have a site. It's yours for $35 a year. How cool is that? There's no, that's the only hosting fee. That's a very low cost overhead. And you stress how simple and how easy it is. All you have to do is recommend this to your friends. You bring them to this link and they order. Plexus does the rest of it for you. You want to pass on simplicity and ease. So that was number three. Number one was knowing what you have to offer and being confident in it. Number two was being on the call when you sign them up. And number three is immediately showing them their site. Number four is to show them the back office. I only like to show people 4 things in the back office because it can get really overwhelming. And we just got a new back office, so we're like all newbies right now. But what I like to show them is how to order, how to see their customers, their future customers, right? Because you just went over how easy it was. I like to show them how to see their financials because, hey, it's almost impossible not to get paid, right? And number 4 is how to see their future team members. So a lot of this is equipping them, and a lot of this is showing them how easy Plexus makes it for us. Okay, we're halfway through. Number 5, after you do that, you're still on the phone with them. This is all that first call. Tamara talked about 3-way calls. I'm talking about the sign-up process call. And you ask them their goals. So you say, you know what? This is what I say. You may not know just yet what your goal is, and if you do, tell me now. But if you don't, I really want you to think about this. Is your goal just to get your products paid for? Is your goal to make $400, $500, or $600 extra a month? That was my goal when I first started. I wanted to be able to buy whatever organic groceries I wanted. And I thought, man, if I could make $500 or $600 a month, that would be awesome. Or do you really want to run with this with me? I said, I have changed my life and a lot of people's lives through really running with this business. And listen, I am here to support you with what you want to do. Don't ever think I'm going to push you into goals that you don't want. I don't. You're going to hear that I am passionate about this business, but the reason I'm passionate about it is because I love helping my team members meet their goals. So for me to best serve you, I have got to know, I want to know. And by that point, they're already usually telling me. And I don't ever say, hey, your goal, is it just to sign up for wholesale? I never plug that in. I plug in the minimum is that you want to get your products paid for, because I love that. And I tell them that I love help, but I have learned that I love business. And when you make it, when you tell them you love it, they're never going to feel like they're a bother to ask questions. You tell them you love this business and you love supporting them, then they know that you're passionate, not just about the products, but about the business also. So number 5 was asking them their goals, and your job is supporting them in what they want to do. Don't get frustrated if they say they just want to get their products paid for and that's all they do. A lot of goals change. A lot of people's goals will change, but they won't be frustrated and you won't be frustrated if you know what they are and you help them according to what they are. They'll also know, that'll also go back to number 1, which is that they'll feel it's about them and not about you. Okay, so number 6 is to ask questions. On those initial, that's usually where I end the call, is asking them their goals. I say, congratulations, I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to send them a package in the mail too, just with a welcome note and catalog and just some of the stuff I use for business. People love that first package. I always send Rock Your Network Marketing Business. But after all that, then I schedule a training call like Tamara did, or it's maybe over chat. I just kind of feel it out with people. I may introduce them to my sponsor through a chat group. It always looks a little bit different, but I love 3-way calls and they're powerful. So number 6 is to ask questions, whether this is on the call, a first initial training call, or whether this is over like instant messaging or texting. So these are some questions. What do you think your audience would like? I tell them I love to launch people off and get them started off right. What do you think your audience would like? Facebook event, like a Zoom launch, or in person if that's possible, if you're close to them. And you get them thinking, well, what would my audience like? Then you ask, well, what night would your audience like? And you just get them thinking and talking and asking questions of them, and so that they can, because they're going to know their audience better than you will. So I don't like to lead people in this is everybody step 1, this is everybody step 2, this is everybody step 3, because people have to know what's best for them. She needs to turn that light off behind me. Okay, number 7 is become their I called it a PFF. You become their Plexus friend forever, right? You know that they know that you're invested in them, you're friends, you're getting to know them on a personal level if you didn't already. And I love that one. I love everybody I sponsor. I just feel like they are my PFF forever, right? Okay, and in that leads into number 8, which is create a strong team culture. And you need to make sure your Facebook groups are positive. You need to make sure that there's forward movement with everyone. And so if you have a positive team culture, they are going to notice, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. If you're asking questions on your team page about personality or color or what matters to others, they're going to connect and they're going to see these other people. And if they're going to see they're moving forward, then they're going to know they can too. I love to utilize group chats for this purpose. If I sponsor 2 or 3 people at the same time, then I will put them in a chat group together and say, hey, here are some common questions. I'm going to give you all tips a couple times a week. And hey, what motivates you guys? Is it anyone doing their list? Who did their first 3-way call? Y'all all want to do a Zoom together and launch your business? So I really get them connected with others, because team culture is gonna be the glue that holds y'all together. People are gonna have hard days, and they're not maybe always gonna connect with you the best. But if you can get others connected on your team and a forward positive movement where people feel friends sideline, then you're really going to be an unstoppable force. So don't forget about that human connection and not only being their PFF, but connecting them to other positive influence PFFs. Okay, that's all I had for you, Melissa.
Kristen, I love it. Thank you so much. I love the little soundbite that I wrote down was that people can sense when it's about them and not about you. They know when you're investing in them, and people can totally sense that desperation. You know, if it's all about you, then that can be such a turnoff. So I love that. I mean, I feel like you were very thorough. I know I want to ask you a few questions, but you did a great job. But I do know that you're also really, really good at turning wholesale customers into ambassadors. So can you talk to me a little bit about your best technique and strategy in flipping your customers to ambassadors?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my top tip on that is that I talk about the business when they're thinking about ordering as a customer. I'll say, what do you want to do? Do you want to buy as a preferred customer? That's a great option. Do you want to join? It's awesome. You can get it cheaper, and the business side is amazing. You may know people that are interested in that. So I am plugging right away that it's an awesome business opportunity, but whatever they want to do, I am happy with, so that when they love the products, which they will most of the time. I mean, everybody does their awesome products, but I typically have customers either quit or join. I don't have a whole lot of long-term customers. And most join, and that is because I have plugged the idea that this business is an amazing opportunity. So as they love the products, they go, hey, she said that this was a good business. Well, I can join and then do this. I've signed up 4 diamonds, and 3 out of the 4 of them were customers that pretty much in the first 3 weeks immediately transferred over because I talked about the strong business side first. But they were only comfortable ordering as a customer, but because that idea was introduced in a smart, fun, I'd love to do this with you, but whatever you want to do kind of way, they felt really comfortable with the idea once they understood what the products were. So it really starts, so to answer your question, Melissa, the reason why my customers convert to ambassadors so well is because I've mentioned it before.
I love it. Thank you so much. Okay, so for those of you watching too, Kristen and Jarrett are amazing, and they have Plexus U online on YouTube, and there are a ton of really, really great trainings on Plexus U as well. So if you guys are not following them and subscribe to that page, then definitely subscribe to Plexus U. So Kristen, you're amazing. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. And we are going to jump to Jen Hawkins. Jen, if you want to go ahead and turn your video on. Hi, Jen.
Hi. You see me?
I see you. Jen is a diamond emerald. She has actually re-entered as a diamond and has now worked her business all the way back up to the emerald position, and she is in our upline. I'm actually Jen's level 4, so if you're on my team and you're watching this or you're tuning in, you can kind of figure out where you are in her downline. And she is incredible at just casting a wide net. When I talk to my team and I ask them, what are some questions that you want me to ask these diamonds, one that I got over and over and over again was, what do I do when my warm market is tapped out, when I feel like all of my friends are already using Plexus, or they're already ambassadors, or they've used the products and quit, and people just feel like they're at a roadblock sometimes with who to talk to and where to go next. And so Jen is going to talk to us a little bit about that. So take it away, friend.
Okay, thank you guys for having me on. I feel so honored to be in this lineup with Tamara and Kristen and Andrea tonight. I was taking notes furiously, and Kristen, I loved what you said about how don't force goals upon someone, because I think if my sponsor had done that in the beginning, I would have been really scared, and I may have been overwhelmed and not had worked the business. But I was good with covering my own products, and it has turned into so much more than that, as many of you know. But okay, so expanding your network. You know, you feel like your network is tapped out, like Melissa was saying, and I think that sometimes that is actually true, and you really are kind of, you've exhausted all those resources and all of that warm market. But I also think sometimes it's a myth. And I say that because I've been doing this for over 3 years, and I still have people that have been watching me this entire time reach out to me. So you never know. If you really put pen to paper and you write down everybody you know, you probably aren't exhausted. And whenever my team tells me this, I ask them questions back. I say, have you made your list? Let's see. Are you contacting people on your list? I made some notes here, and I'm totally going out of order. So and what does that look like? What are you doing with your time? I have a level 1. She's my primary leg on my second position, on my emerald position, Kate Owen. And shame on me, she was on my dream team list from the beginning, from like day one when I decided to work this business as a business. She was on my list and in my dream team. But shame on me, I was chicken to contact her. So she watched me for 18 months. Finally joined my team, had great success on the products, and then about 6 months later started working the business. And now she's an emerald working on sapphire. So I would venture to say many of you might be a year in or so, and you are feeling like you're tapped out. People are still watching you, and I know you know that, but don't forget. And if you're a newbie and you're thinking, oh gosh, the well has dried up, people aren't asking me for information anymore, you've got to start going to them. And that was like what Tamara was talking about, making your list and going to people. If you're doing that from the beginning, you should always be doing that. But here's the thing, no matter what, no matter if your network truly is exhausted or whether it isn't and you're still working that warm market, you should always be working to expand that warm market, okay? So how do you do that? I get this question, and I think people expect that there's this silver bullet answer, like there's another secret Facebook out there or something that some of us diamonds are keeping from you, and we're not telling you this magic secret. I don't buy leads, I don't do any of that because I'm so focused on relationship building. But when you're expanding your network, you have to get out of your own comfort zone and find ways to meet new people. And what does that look like? It's very tailored to who you are and what you love. You've got to get out there, live life, volunteer with something that you're passionate about. Join a club, moms if you're a mom of little ones. Knitting, whatever it is, you're like, I want to pick up a new hobby. Once a month, go to a book club, meet new people, talk to the parents of your friends' kids, and just start building relationships with them and connecting with them. I think this is the most important way because relationships are so key. I had a coaching call with a level 1 yesterday, and she told me an interesting story, and I just want to tell you about it today because I think it speaks to the power of what a trusting relationship can do. She tells me that her best friend of 16 years is interested in joining her business. But my level 1 wanted me to know that her friend told her that an acquaintance about a year ago introduced Plexus to her. And my level 1's friend said, I would never have been interested if it wasn't for you doing this business. Now I'm interested. And so my level 1, as dear as she is, and we train complete ethics, she did the right thing. And she said, you got to go back to the person who first introduced you to Plexus. And her friend said, if I'm not joining your team, I'm not going to join anyone's team. Plexus is amazing. We have amazing products and amazing opportunity, but so often people are joining you because they don't understand the power of our products and opportunity. So it's you that they're joining. So building that strong, lasting, trusting relationship is super important. And I'm not saying it's going to take 16 years to develop these trusting relationships, but it does take some time, which is why it's important to not puke Plexus when you first meet someone. I think that is such a big turnoff. You know, I don't ever want to meet someone and have the first thing that they think about me, especially when they find out I do Plexus, is that they're only important to me if they buy my products or join my team. So I often table Plexus, and you know, if they ask me what I do, I tell them, and with excitement and passion, and I'll give them my elevator speech. And if they don't engage more on that and ask questions, I'm done. I'm moving on, and we're talking about them and what their life is like, asking them their story, really making them feel important to connect with them. It's so important. I'm kind of getting off track here, so. You know, I had another friend who it took a whole year of me planting seeds. You know, somebody new, brand new that I met, planting seeds, building that trust, and it was about a year in. I could tell by watching her Facebook page that her life was really taking a corner where she was desperate for Plexus. So at this point, I feel like, you know, I feel like I have enough trust in this relationship that I can just be real bold and say, you need Plexus. I can't let you go another day without you giving this a try. This has so much to offer, not only for the products that you desperately need, but the business and the financial blessing aspect. So she joined, but it took some time to develop that relationship and get her to trust me, and that it wasn't just about me making the sale or increasing my numbers. We have to be farmers and not hunters. We talk about this a lot. I know that's one of Celeste's favorite lines, and it's so true. And one of the resources that I love when it comes to learning how to be a farmer and not a hunter, 25 Ways to Win with People. It's one of John Maxwell's book. Many leadership books, but I think this is great about learning to connect with people. And I think it's like $5 on audio. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. I continually have it running in my car when I'm by myself, and I always pick up something new. But of the 25 ways, there's some that really apply to a new relationship when you're building that new relationship and establishing that connection and some trust. And so I just wanted to highlight a few of those here. 30-second rule. In the first 30 seconds of meeting someone, whether it's for the first time or coming back and engaging with them, in the first 30 seconds, make them feel special, encourage them, compliment them, make them feel special, make them feel like they're important. Listen with your heart. And I think that this is so, you know, we talk about actively listening, and I think it's more than that. When you listen with your heart, you're aiming to understand them and not just knowing how to reply. And when you're listening with your heart, you're really connecting to the stories that they're telling. And that brings me kind of to one of the next ones, is remember a person's story. When you remember a person's story, you recall details back to them. If they tell you how their newborn is struggling with colic, and you come back and you meet them, how is baby Luke doing? And that tells them that they are important to you. And then when you're listening with your heart, you can also find those keys to their heart. And John Maxwell calls it find the keys to their heart, but we can plexify this and say, find out their why. What drives them? What makes them tick? Is it the products that they're going to be desperate for? Is it the opportunity? Is it both? That way, down the road, when you're thinking, okay, I'm going to start planting seeds, you know what it is that's going to connect to their heart. Let's see, I think I have one more here. Be the first to help. Be intentional, and when you're listening with your heart, it will really open up ways that you can be helpful to them. And be helpful in the moment. Be very intentional about that. When you help someone and you offer a helping hand, and it doesn't have to be a ton of time or anything, but when you help in those little moments, that leaves an imprint on someone, and they're like, that person, you know, I can be friends with that person, and I like her or him. So these are only a handful of the 25 ways that John outlines for us in his book, but they're the ones that I like for developing and building a relationship right in the start. You know, I have to admit, I'm actually really shy when I first meet people. So this was not natural for me. Not that I really wasn't interested in getting to know people, but I'm just kind of shy, and so this takes practice. And I would encourage you, if this doesn't come natural to you, or if this is something you don't normally do, get this book or get it on audio. Know the 25 ways. Take these 5 and take 1 or 2 at a time, and just practice them. Practice them with people you already know, so that whenever you're in a situation where you meet someone brand new, it'll come more naturally. But it does take practice, and it takes time and being intentional to connect with people. So all that to say, joining a club is not going to grow your business. Just joining. You have to make those connections with the people, and that's what's going to help you grow your business. But you know what? You need to have the attitude and the posture that even if this person doesn't join my team or doesn't buy my products, this person is still so important to me. And you have to be very genuine and sincere in that. I'm going to close out. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'm pretty much done. But I want to close out with one quote by Dale Carnegie. He says, "To influence others to act, you must first connect to a core desire within them." So there you go. Melissa, if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. This was fun.
You were amazing. That's awesome, Jen. Thank you so much. How long have you been with Plexus?
You know, it was 3 years into May, so I was just thinking it was about 3 years and 4 months. So coming up on 3.5.
Okay. And do you still have people on your list that potentially that you're still working on, like people that you knew 3.5 years ago that haven't inquired yet, or you haven't reached out to them yet? You just haven't needed to, or it hasn't come up yet?
Both. Mostly I've got a few that really are still on my chicken list, and I'm waiting for the right opportunity to talk about it with them. But I have some too that I just, you know, I'm not sure, you know, like where you said I haven't needed to, and, you know, they're on my list, but I'm not certain that I think they'd be great, but I don't think they would be hungry for it for many different reasons. And that's the thing, is I have this amazing level 1, and if she ever watches this, she'll know exactly who I'm talking about. I've known her since the 6th grade. I adore her. This girl is total diamond material, but she doesn't want it, and I can't make her want it. So I think I have a lot of people like that they're in places in their life that they're really loving life, and they don't feel like they need it, or so they don't really want it. But so yeah, I do have people on my list. I don't know if that was a long roundabout answer to your question.
No, and sometimes it's all about timing. It really is, because I have people that I signed, and for a year they're essentially a wholesale buyer, and then, you know, a year later they're ready to start working their business. And so sometimes it's just, the word that kept coming to mind as you were sharing was patience. And sometimes we just need to be patient with the relationship that we're building with someone. Then sometimes we do bring people into our business, and we just have to love them where they're at. And if they know that you genuinely do love them where they are, and that you're there to support them when they're ready to jump in, then a lot of times if you're committed and you're there when they're ready, then it can potentially be an amazing ambassador on your team. So that was awesome.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Okay, we are going to jump to my friend Andrea Mitchell. She is a diamond, and I know that she's re-entered, and Andrea, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you are a diamond, silver, like almost gold ambassador. And Andrea is one of the very best conversations. Is that right, Andrea? Oh, okay. I thought I heard you jump in. So she is one of the very best conversationalists that I know. She is just a natural at getting to know people, a natural at asking questions, and making people feel really connected to her right away. And I think that she has a way of sharing Plexus that makes people kind of lean in, instead of, like Jen was talking about, puking Plexus on people. You know, and sometimes one person's technique isn't another person's technique. So, Andrea, I would love to know, when you're out and about and a door swings wide open, like let's say someone just opens the door wide open to you, and you know that it's maybe a perfect opportunity to share a Plexus with them, but oftentimes we don't because we're so worried that we're going to stumble over our words, or even something simple like when someone does ask us, oh, so what do you do? And some of us will default to, oh, I'm a nurse, or oh, I stay at home, and we don't seize that opportunity to jump in and share. And so I'd love to hear how you do this. How do you do this? And then also, if you could just talk a little bit on motivating your team, because you have a really fast growing team right now, and you're an amazing motivator. And so we want to hear your tips.
Okay, so thank you so much for having me on. It's such an honor. It feels like you're like in like a celebrity bowl. I was feeling like the freshman coming in at the end of a senior debate team. So kind of excited to be here. Okay, so the first thing I can think of, the very first time I remember like just kind of having that open door for a stranger, is we were at a park and someone was standing next to me holding a Red Bull, and kind of what Melissa said is, I just like conversation. I really just like people. So I just said, why do you drink that? I just asked. And I think it wasn't attacking, it was an accusatory. I didn't have on, Plexus stuff for them to be able to, think immediately that I was, attacking them in any way. I was just curious. And I think curiosity is a really good skill. I think it's something I have naturally, so I don't know that you can teach that to everyone. But I ask a lot of questions. I ask about energy. I ask about their kids. I ask what school their kids go to, how old they are, what grade they're in. I relate a lot of that to us. We have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, so I understand the need for energy. I understand being a room mom. And so I remember that was the first time I really just kind of cold talked to someone in public. And it really had a lot to do with just sitting there at the park with another mom and thinking, this is a perfect opportunity to really just reach out. What's interesting is both of the moms sitting there had already heard about Plexus through somebody else. So it was easy for me to not feel like I was trying to get a new customer. They could tell me who they were already speaking with. We were kind of outside of my neighborhood bubble, so I knew there were tons of Dallas people doing this, and it was easy for me to say, you know what, go back to them and ask them this question and get information about this and go. But that also opened the door for me that the next time when someone hadn't heard about Plexus, I could be the person that told them about it. So I think it's sometimes, I think some people have talked about this, like sometimes you might mess it up, like the first 3-way call or the first time that you call one of your friends and say, I really want you on my team. You might feel like you totally bomb it and you mess it up. But the good thing is you get more chances. So I try every time to just be better. And so one thing that Melissa asked is, what do you say when someone says, well, what do you do? Or, that you have your t-shirt on and they say, what is Plexus? Or, we're in a new school year this year and we've got new moms, and moms are always asking, so what do you do all day? And it's so easy for me to say, I'm a stay-at-home mom first. It's my first priority. And I love being a stay-at-home mom. But my second priority, and the thing that I have just as much passion for and that, gets me going all day long while the kids are at school, isn't housework. Is no mom, I think it is. But it's Plexus. It's really this business I get to do out of my house or out of my car at car lines or at lunch with my girlfriends. I really get to do this business all day long. And you know what's amazing, and especially if this person already knows our family, is what it's done for our family. And so I can share a personal testimonial right there that's quick and fast, and they're already falling in love with the products. And then they kind of already have a glimmer of what the business looks like. And so I think conversation. I mean, Jen kind of talked about it when you're trying to recruit someone or you're building a relationship, you're having a conversation with someone. And the neat thing is you can have a conversation with someone and it's not fruitful that day. I'm not sitting in Sunday school doing prayer requests and someone says they're tired and I'm like, oh, let me get you some Plexus. Right now, let me hand you a pink drink in the middle of prayer requests. No, I really pray for that person. And I pray that if what I have is the answer, that God opens the door. But I'm not going to kick that door open in the middle of a prayer request table. So I think at constant times, we are always an ambassador. We're always the person that is, giving them the option, but it may be the business, it may be the products, it might just be listening, or it might just be like what Jen talked about, just finding out some answers. You might just be finding out, what does this person need? Do they need energy? Do they need weight loss? Do they just need gut health just to get everything started? And I think if we will be intentional about the products, if we'll be intentional about being honest in what we do. Celeste mentioned a lot that at first she, didn't want to be a network marketer. She didn't want to be the person everyone was talking about at the party. But now the first thing she says when people ask her what she does is she says, I'm a network marketer. And then she talks about the company that she works for. So she's bold about being a network marketer. I think that's easy when you make the kind of money that Celeste makes to say network marketing works. But I think it can turn some people off too. So your audience is a huge deal. So some notes so I don't get off track here. And if it's an acquaintance, a lot of times I'll just talk about the fact that I work for Plexus. I'll see if they ask more questions. If they're not interested at all in a health and wellness company or staying at home or any of the things that are just personal to me, then I drop it. They might come back to me later when we're not in a group, or it might be something that over time as the relationship builds, they see more and more evidence of that what I say is true, and they come to me and ask me more questions. And if it's someone that I know a little better, I think the easiest thing for me is really going into the what the products have done for Ella and I. For starting off, why I was a customer, why I went from a customer to being an ambassador, why I have a job at all when I was a perfectly happy stay-at-home mom before. Why would I invest this time into this? So I think it's important, and again, with the relationships, to say why you do what you do. I think it's important to always be listening. Jen was very good at explaining to listen. I don't know if this was talked about tonight, but I know in Sunday school we talked about having one mouth and two ears, so that you can listen twice as much as you talk. And I think that if we are constantly listening to people, which I think is why I ask so many questions, I want to know about somebody else. I want to know their life experiences, their ups, their downs, their highs, their lows, their fears, the things that they're really excited about that are coming up. I love that information about people. And so the more information that I have about someone, the better decision I can make how I'm going to approach them, when I'm going to approach them about Plexus. So I think asking questions and then listening is a very big key. So I'm in a lot of waiting rooms. We go to a lot of doctor's appointments. And because I'm in so many waiting rooms with so many different types of ailments, I get to talk to a lot of parents that are concerned and fearful. And sometimes that's their own anxiety. Or they're tired because they're up all night with a child. It's difficult. And so I think just being intentional about those people. I Facebook friend a lot of people. I always, it used to be, can I get your number? And we'll call. I always say now, can I friend you on Facebook? Do you mind? And sometimes I do it right then and there. And I friend them. And then it's just a conversation about what we were continuing the conversation we were talking about, maybe in the waiting room or at the park or at a concert or wherever we're out and about. And yet they're seeing all of my Plexus stuff on Facebook at the same time. So I'm not connecting them directly to Plexus. I'm still having a conversation with them or still keeping up with them. But they're seeing it subliminally, not very subliminally, on my Facebook page. And so once these people are on my team and once our team has grown, one of the things Melissa wanted me to talk about is motivation and how I keep my team motivated. I'll say the easiest part about motivating my team is I have a lot of self-motivated people. I think that's why we went so fast. I went Emerald in 5 months. And so I think a lot of that has to do with I had some really amazing friends join me really early in the business, and they were self-motivated and they wanted it more than I even thought I wanted it for them. So the very first thing I would do is I train my team every single day in a video snippet. So it's a minute, 2 minutes, maybe up to 5 minutes of just, hey, I had this thought today. Today I just wanted to talk to you about this. Today it was about encouraging leadership. So I think every day it may be a product training, or it may just be a thought that popped into my head that I wanted to share with my whole team. They feel connected to me. They feel like they know my face and my voice and my heart. And I think that's very important to feeling motivated, is feeling connected. The second thing is I reach out to lower than my level ones. I love my team. But of course, since you've already heard, I love people. I love connecting with people. I love knowing their stories. And so it's hard for me when I see someone doing really well to not want to reach out to them. and just give them a word of encouragement. Sometimes it's a lunch, because I absolutely love going to lunch with my team individually or as a group. But it's also just reaching out and encouragement and saying, hey, I saw that you got a new level 1. I saw that you went silver. I'm really proud of you for just getting out and doing that phenomenal post today. Or, you told me last month, you sent me a message and said your goal was $1,500 in PV. I looked today and I saw that you made it, and I'm so proud of you. People love encouragement. They love, love, love encouragement. So that's individual, but I also think team recognition is huge. So leaderboards consistently throughout the month are a lot of fun to constantly see who's at the top. There are some really competitive people. You can watch competition come out in a good, healthy way when leaderboards come out for PV. And I think it's exciting and fun, and you can watch people really go, okay, I need to get 3 more sales to beat that person. And it's not that they're trying to, get that person down, because every sale they all make increases all of their pay points. So it's a lot of fun. So I think that motivation really comes through connection. But it makes sense that our team would be motivated through connection, since that's how we grow our teams in the first place. So I really enjoy embracing that part. I think it's might be harder if you're not a people person to really connect, both to grow your team and then to motivate your team. But I think motivation comes through leadership, and I think leadership comes from them seeing what you do on a consistent basis as a leader. So Melissa, you're welcome to ask me questions. I hope I answered the ones that you wanted me to.
You did. Thank you so much, Andrea.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't know why there's an echo. Can you hear an echo, Andrea? No? Okay, good. So I'm just going to ignore it. All right, so when you are out and about and you're talking to someone about Plexus, then do you do anything? Do you hand them your business card? Do you do samples, or do you let the conversation flow and then you try to figure out how does that work?
I'm not great at handing things out. I do always have business cards with me, and I think business cards are key for just professionalism. If you ever want to be able to give someone your phone number, I mean, at any point someone says, well, send me your web address and I'll get, I think it's so professional to have your business card to hand to them. But I'll be honest, I get business cards all the time. I have gotten probably 4 or 5 business cards this week just from service people that have been in my house, and I can't find them. But if those people had taken my phone and put their information in my phone, I would know exactly where they were at all times. I would have that information already linked to me. So for me, I think making that social media connection is a little more in. So I think, yes, business cards are great. I think you should always have them because I think they're imperative. But I also think that getting you on I post on Facebook every single day. They are not going to look at my business card every single day. So I think that's a constant reminder to them that I'm there, and they may not be interested, but in 6 months, all of a sudden they are interested, and they are not going to go find my business card in a junk drawer somewhere. They are going to see me on Facebook again that day, and it's going to pop up in their mind, oh yeah, I wanted to order that stuff from her.
So share with me about how you friend someone. If you're engaging with that person, let's just say at the park, and you ask them about their red bull. So how would you take the next step further? Now, I know you said in this case they knew someone already who was using or sharing the product. And so in this case, you probably would not. What if they would have maybe inquired a little bit more about it and been interested? Then how would you have actually taken that step to have gotten their information?
So if we were talking about Plexus, I definitely would say, why don't I friend you on Facebook, and then you can follow me, and you can see kind of day-to-day information I'll put out there. You can ask me questions as I post. We have a lot of online events that we do. You can find out about meetings that way, but then we can just connect. So even if you're not interested in Facebook, but you want to get the kids back together for a play date, or y'all are coming back out to this park, then why don't you just let me know that, and we'll just come out to the park and hang out with y'all. It doesn't have to be about Plexus. So I try to make it very social, as opposed to I'm only friending you on Facebook so that you will buy a product from me or join my team. So I try to make it a lot more casual than that. I will say Celeste and I were at the Academy of Country Music Awards a few months ago, and we were taking pictures with a bunch of people that were in the pit with us and friending them right there and saying, okay, I'm going to share this picture with you. And we would friend them right there. And so I think there is fun and those kind of things, and and follow up, because we can go back to those pictures and find that friend and say, okay, I'm going to follow up with that person now, like, hey, okay, we've been friends for 6 months on Facebook, I know you've been seeing my Plexus post, would you be interested in knowing more? But I think for just Facebook friends, I friend everybody at church. So if you've been our church study school groups, but if you've been in my class, I will friend you just so we can stay connected. So I love connecting to people. I had 1,500 Facebook friends before I ever heard of Plexus. So I already loved connecting to people on social media. So it wasn't weird for me, and it isn't weird for me now to try to add them. I think you have to make it as casual as possible and as relational as possible. You cannot make it about your business. I think that's kind of across the board. What Jen said and what I would say is you can't make everything about your business. It really has to be, if they never ever sign up, do you still find value in that person? Yes, I still find value. And so you have to make sure that value connects and it translates well.
Thank you, Andrea.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I love it. Okay, y'all are
and I am so grateful for the time that we all had together tonight. Let me. Okay, you don't hear that echo?
Nope.
No. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
All right. Let me close this out
here.
And these four ladies mean so much to me. They mean so much to me as friends and as leaders, and I really look up to them and admire them. I admire the way that they build their businesses. They all have practices and they all do things that are a little bit different than the way that maybe I lead our team or the way that I run our business. And so it was really important for me, for each of you guys, to be able to hear from them. And so I just want to close us out by challenging those of you that are watching this to draw your line in the sand and commit. I want you guys to be here 1 year from now. I want you to be here 5 years from now. So much of what we've heard this evening is about patience, and it's about timing and relationships, and those type of things don't just happen overnight. And so commit to Plexus. Y'all, I want you to make this a business decision. I know that there are people that are on this call or listening, and y'all have just gotten your Plexus business started. And I know that people are watching that have been with me or been with these other ladies, since the very, very beginning. But if you went to a bank and you took out a loan to start a business, to really start like a legitimate startup business, you wouldn't quit after 3 weeks. You wouldn't quit after 3 months. What I know is that commitment is what separates the dreamers from the doers in this business. And I love my dreamers, y'all. I love my dreamers. That's why we talk about, creating our dream board and finding a why that makes you cry. But in the end, you have to take action. And that's really what this call has been all about. Everyone has shared a different way that you can take action and really, really work your business. So I want you guys to tell yourself that you are going to do this business, that you're going to work this business no matter what. How could you possibly walk away from an opportunity that has the potential to change your life, the life of those that you love, and potentially hundreds and thousands of other people? Because I said yes to this opportunity, thousands and thousands of lives have been changed, and you have the potential to do the same thing. And so if you're out there and you're thinking, I'm just going to try this out, I'm just going to dabble, and I'm going to see how it goes, just push those thoughts and feelings aside and make the decision. And it might mean that you have to go back and you have to do a little bit of personal development. Maybe you don't have the relationships that Andrea had. Maybe you don't have 1,500 Facebook friends, when you get started. I know I didn't. I know Tamara Holloway didn't have that many Facebook friends either. And so maybe you need to work on building relationships. Maybe you need to dig in a little bit deeper to find out, how can I connect with people, or where do I personally fall short in that area? Maybe your comfort zones are holding you captive right now, and you just can't take that first step to do a Facebook post or to start a conversation or to mention Plexus when you have the opportunity. And, give yourself time. Give yourself time to be able to grow, and give yourself time to, start saying your affirmations each and every day that I think Kristen talked about, affirmations, where you start saying them to where you believe them yourself, and then they can motivate you to step out of your comfort zone. This is a journey, and so I want you to enjoy this journey, and I want you to commit to it. And I love this analogy. I share it a lot. But did y'all know that bamboo only grows a couple of inches during its first 4 years? So just a couple of inches during its first 4 years. But during its 5th year, it grows 80 feet, okay? Few inches, and then during its 5th year, 80 feet. So let's relate that to our Plexus business. What if you are sharing on Facebook consistently and you're really persistent and you share for 9 months, right? And then you decide, you know what, I'm gonna walk away. You've invested and you've worked so hard for 9 months, and what if that very next Facebook post was gonna be the one that was gonna bring you a really, really motivated ambassador? What if that next Facebook post was the one that was going to cause someone like Jen Hawkins to join your team? So don't give up before the great thing that is going to happen in your business happens. It's so worth it to stay consistent, to commit, and to never give up. And so I hope that you guys have a blessed evening. I hope that this call was just chock full of information that is going to motivate you to get out there and to grow your teams and to grow yourself. So have an amazing evening and go Plexus. Thank you again to my girls, Andrea and Tamara and Jen and Kristen. I appreciate y'all and love you guys so much. Good night.